Yo, welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast with myself, Jules, and Al. And this is our third interview of the morning on the open day that we're holding at the Parade Shops with our studio here on the ground floor. And our third guest, and this is all very good actually, her third time on, is Kat Merrick. Hi Kat, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Fine. And Al?
Great, I'm fine. I was kind of panicking about today, to be honest. I was kind of like, oh my God, things never go right. But they have so far.
Gone perfect.
Touch wood. I need something wood to touch. But yeah. Was that really inappropriate? Paper was once wood.
It was.
How are you? You good?
I'm good, yeah. I'm feeling a little bit tired today. I didn't sleep very well last night. I had some espresso martinis and then
nice.
The caffeine basically didn't wear off. So it was my husband's birthday yesterday, so we went out for a little meal. But then, I was like wide awake. So my words might stumble a little bit today. It's not a proper hangover, it's more tiredness.
I had that this morning. We spoke to Tom from the War Games Society, and I was kind of like, in fact, I restarted the show. I was like, can we just do a do-over? I've never done that before on the Biscuit, but I was kind of like, it's a weird time of year, isn't it, where you're not sure whether to put the heating on, but yet it's cold, and change the season.
Yeah.
Plays weird things on me because I'm kind of like, I have to be just right in bed. Do you know what I mean? The right temperature.
Temperature-wise, obviously.
Yeah. Right. So last time we spoke to you, Kat, you were feeling quite positive about the Bell Tent Company, and we were just talking before we hit record. You've had a few blows since then.
Yeah. That. Because all of the weddings that I'd booked in this year for the Bell Tent Company that I run were all then postponed. So there's some still in the diary. And basically at that start of lockdown, I just had to kind of cancel everything, focus more on my yoga business, which was great and still is. But the Bell Tents were, I was planning for a big year and that didn't happen. But then as we came out of that and they started picking back up, it felt really positive. And then the bookings that were in for the end of September, they just disappeared once that rule of 6 came in. So, it was a loss of income. But, it's I have to keep staying positive because there was many things that was like a bump and another bump and another bump. And I wasn't... I didn't qualify for any help whatsoever. But, as a family, we're okay. It's more kind of my business and that
passion,
kind of personal thing that, I thought this year was going to be the year. I quit my job, I was like, set it all up. It's going to be good. So a bit bumpy, but I'm still here.
I'm trying. For the whole thing, I'm trying to look at the positives of things. I guess the bells can go into the bell tents. Go into storage, and then they can just come back out again, can't they? But I mean, you've got to earn though, haven't you? You gotta survive.
Yeah. And it did feel like I'd kind of picked up towards the end of the summer, so it was a bit of. And they always would have gone away this time of year. I am not putting them up in this weather. So they always do go away. But it's then I usually switch to the indoor slumber parties, which again, they've taken a hit because I can't go and set up for a big party. I could still, and I can still do, for their bubbles, which is 2 or 3 at a time. But people are still a little bit nervous about, and I think I am as well, because I've still got myself and my family to protect if I'm going into other people's houses that I don't know. There's always that extra risk there. Yeah,
it's and I guess does it affect the yoga, because obviously yoga is all about well-being and zen and kind of just being at one and the breathing. Does it make it harder to do that, because obviously you've got to just forget about everything, right?
It doesn't make it harder, it helps, because as soon as I'm teaching or if I'm doing a class, the whole focus is you come back to your breath, you come back to your body, you drop out of your mind. So whatever thoughts are racing around your mind, they're kind of not true. You just need to be present with the body and with your breath, and that really helps. And I've started cold water swimming as well. Which again, you can't be anywhere else. You can't be thinking about, where's my next booking coming, or what, am I going to make rent this month or anything like that? Because you're just like, I just need to breathe because it's freaking cold.
I imagine. I did see that on Facebook. I was kind of, what is wrong with these people? Like, it's cold during the summer, never mind during the autumn.
Yeah.
Where do you do that at then?
At Love to Stay.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
So I usually teach, because I teach at Love to Live, so I do my yoga class on a Friday morning. Then me and one of the gym members, we head over and we go and have a cold swim. So it's all based around the Wim Hof method, which I think we spoke about briefly before, and I got interested and learnt more about it about this time last year. Excuse me. But had anybody told me that I'd be doing cold swims in October, I would have never believed them. No.
Oh, so it's proper.
Yeah.
Making me go think about that.
Yeah.
So that must take you to a different place then, right?
It does. And it's something called hormetic stress. So by getting into the cold, you put a stress on your body. But by taking control of your breath straight away, that stress isn't too much to kind of set you into fight or flight, because you're really focusing on that long exhale, bringing your breath back under control, which then lets your brain know I'm okay. And then you just kind of end up finding this sense of calm. So it builds your resilience and it helps you deal with stress better, because your body's in a state of, when it feels that kind of stress coming in, it's kind of trusting you that you then can deal with it, so it's not overtaking. So it's pretty good.
I get what you're saying, not with the cold water bit, but I get what you're saying with what I was saying to you earlier. I've just got myself one of those acupressure mats, the spiky mats, and it's exactly that same thing. Like, deal with the first 5 minutes, and then you can fall asleep on it. Obviously, the moment you move.
I'm sitting now thinking ice cold water or like spiky mats, because you showed me the picture of what it does to your back afterwards, and I'm kind of like, they're both my idea, because I'm a good swimmer. I like swimming. So like that's not the issue for me. It's the I always remember when I used to go to the gym, I used to be like, I'm going to do the dunk pool, and you do the cold dunk pool and like, I did it, bro. People do that and enjoy it.
It just brings a sense of calm, and it. So I've just finished reading the Wim Hof book, and a lot of the method also is about the breathing, and it changes your biochemistry, so and reaches like that kind of deep part of your brain, so it can help like reset your nervous system in a way, and helps you deal with stress better. For people who have, like I have eczema, which is an autoimmune disease. Anything that's kind of connected to the immune system, it's an immune booster. And by doing the breath work as well, you kind of create more alkalinity in your body. So it's just really, and it's free. It's your breath. You're not having to like buy any particular things. You just breathe, and you're getting cold water, whether that's like a wild kind of body of water, or you fill your bath up. I mean, I have cold showers every morning. Ooh. But honestly, I would not have believed ever that would be me.
We talked about
in
that
my
last time
20s
with
and
Max,
30s.
didn't we?
No way.
We didn't think we did talk about that last time, the cold. And I remember one time there was a problem with the thermostat where we were living, and it would go cold, and it would. I'm just be like, okay, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. And it's really hard. But since then, I did a whole month with USUC. What's the difference? We did a whole month of sort of personal discovery and meditation, and self-healing. We did a lot of that, and since speaking to you as well, and I've actually started meditating at least once a week. I'll do it for the first time in my life ever. And my experience, the first time I ever tried meditating, and this is crazy, right? This is crazy for me to talk about, right? Because I'd never believed it would be something as what it was, right? So I thought, I'm going to try this. So I put the music on. I got an app on my phone that I use. And for some reason, I went to a tent, but it was a tent that I remember from when I was younger, and I was in the cadets, and we had to put up, the big army tents that you get? We had to put one of them up, then we had to just wait for people to turn up, right? So we put this tent up, and they were like, right, just get your head down, just like lie in the shade, it's a hot day, just chilling there. And I remember just lying there, watching like the light peer through like the seam of the wind blowing the thing, and it was just like this really peaceful moment for me from when I was about 14, 15. Yeah. And while I was meditating, I was in that tent. I swear to God, and So I was in this tent and I could hear the wind and I could see the tent blowing, and this is crazy. I don't know where that thought came from. And I did it for about 10 minutes and I came out, and the sensation I felt was like my body was completely numb and it was coming back to life. I actually felt that. It was just a weird feeling for me, because I never thought just sitting there quietly thinking about your breathing and being in that tent and smelling the grass, and it was just a weird experience for me.
You change your brain.
It was really emotional, actually.
So you end up being able to access your subconscious mind more easily. So obviously your subconscious is holding that memory as a sense of peace and calm. Yeah. And so as you change and kind of drop into a different brainwave pattern, you're going to access that more. So it's obviously stored there as one of these beautiful moments. It
was really weird. I'm getting emotional talking about it now, because it's genuine.
I believe it.
This show and the You Suck stuff. I have been on this journey of discovery the last sort of month or so, talking about the self healing, and I kept hearing meditation. Every person that I spoke to, meditation. I was like, there's so many people talk. Even Max, Max like, you need to meditate. And I was like, I gotta try it, and I tried it, and it was just amazing. I try to do it at least once a week.
Good, yeah, that's great.
So thank you for anybody that's told me to meditate. If you've never done it before, try it. It is really, really good. I'm a skeptical guy when it comes to stuff like that, and I am telling you.
Yeah, I think that's the thing with a lot of things. If you can approach new things with an open mind,
yes.
Because the only beliefs we hold about things are what we've kind of been told and learnt by others, and that's obviously a very select few people in our lives. So approaching everything with that kind of open-mindedness and just experiencing it and then making your own assumptions, I think is true for anything, isn't it, really?
There's a genuine theme developing through today, actually. Like we spoke to Tom from the War Game Society this morning. We just had Amy from Madame Lammer's Flowers in. We talked about, okay, so the gaming is all about being immersed into the game, right?
Yeah.
It's like a board game with character, and you're doing war campaigns, right? You're not going to get the benefit out of that unless you're immersed.
Yep.
Amy's talking about these flowers that evoke emotions. Yep. And you've got to buy into that. You've got to buy into that. You can't just get flowers and be like, it doesn't just hit you. You've got to buy into that. And what we're talking about now is about being immersed and wanting that help.
Yeah.
There's a theme there, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, definitely.
Because we work in a field at the prison where if you're going to walk to a prison and pretend you've been enrolled into prison and you've got to break out of this prison, you've got all these characters that's usually me just swearing at you or shouting at you. If you're not going to buy into that, we've had people just mope around and they're like, dragging their knuckles on the floor. I don't like this, whatever. If you're going to do that, it's not going to be for you. But then you get people that really buy into it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the metaphor for sort of yoga, meditation, and does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. There's a mindset, isn't there? And then if you have something that's saying, no, don't do this. It's that kind of. We talk a lot about the ego in yoga, but it's almost like you're the thing that kind of stops you. It's like that fear, or it's almost a protector, but will stop you from then experiencing things as well.
Stupid.
What will other people? What will other people think if I do this? And it's that kind of. It's almost that fear factor, and then people express that in very different ways. Sometimes that comes across as like real rudeness and aggression, but it's that kind of definitely. It's really.
It is a strange one.
So with the yoga at the moment, because obviously that is something you can do.
Yeah.
Are you running classes in an environment where obviously you've got the smaller numbers in and everything is safe as it needs to be?
Yeah.
Are you doing because there's quite a few people doing online yoga at the moment,
doing both of those things. So I teach at a couple of gyms and studios, and they're back open with COVID measures in place.
Yep.
And it's really nice to be teaching face to face.
Yeah.
There's something very special about being in a room with people and feeling the actual energy. There's an energy that you can then kind of feed off, and quite often I'll go off my lesson plan depending on who I've got in front of me. And then I still teach online as well. I do Zoom classes. which is great because I have people from Bolton, from Bristol joining me, from all over the country then that can join me kind of via Zoom.
Yeah.
But with that, again, it's very different. I can't always see them fully.
No.
Though I do, I try and also do a one-to-one with them so that I can kind of give specific guidance so they feel better once they're there. And it's but I usually stick to my plan quite rigidly then, like this is what I'm teaching.
Yeah.
And I don't really vary it. Whereas when you're reading a room, which is, it's an instinctual thing as well. It's not like I kind of go out and think, oh, right, okay, I'm really sensing. It just kind of happens that they're either really giving out lots of energy or you can feel it slowing down. So I'll adapt accordingly. So I've got both of those going on. And then this week, because my company name is called Breathe, Dance and Yoga. And originally I was just a dance teacher and yoga kind of came later. And I've had a year of not dancing, not teaching dance. Right, and it's kind of making its way back in. And I started teaching a kids' dance class. And then this coming Thursday, I've got an online, it's called Funkin' Mums and Soul Sisters. Because it is... and this is and there's lots of brilliant kind of places to dance in Shrewsbury. Yeah. But when you look for an adult dance class, it's generally filled with not adults. It's like 17 or 20-year-olds, and I've had so many mums and other women kind of come and say, "Well, are you going to do a dance class at some point for adults?" And I've never really committed to doing it. So this one is really for the mums and the women who are well over 20 who want to have a dance, and it's just to like some cheesy pop, simple choreography, just to the main thing I want to do is empower other women to feel confident and enjoy their body and teach them some tools to be able to do that. So that's going to be the first online dance class as well that I'm doing this week.
That's really another sort of theme that we've had coming out today, isn't it? About like the situation that everyone's in and how they're having to adapt their businesses. Yeah. Because who would have ever thought in the past you could do yoga online with a load of other people and it's live, it's just not a recorded thing. And I think that's another thing, isn't it?
That's what drew me to Cat in the first place, was you doing your online on Facebook Live. And even then, you were in your infancy of doing that. You were kind of like working out how to get things right and to the camera angle, and that was brilliant to see that from the beginning, because that was an inspiration for me personally, not just to find an interview, but what was I like at the beginning? I was like, what the F are we going to do? I bought all this stuff.
And we can't do anything.
I bought to take to festivals, all these tables. That's what that was in the budget, right? And that all stopped. I was like, oh my God, I really wanted to cry. And then I saw you doing that and I was kind of like, this is, yes, with Zoom, Skype, this is what we're going to do. Yeah. And it was a lifeline for us. So thank you.
Good. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know I inspired you with that. So that's nice to know.
There was a few people, the Royal British Legion as well. They were because obviously you see the Royal British Legion holding events and doing, they're out in the and they couldn't do that, so they used Zoom and stuff just to keep going. Virtual events, and it was because that was the beginning of all that. So,
we really had to pivot, didn't we? And I've learnt a lot. Really learnt a lot. Getting my head around Zoom and actually a booking system as well.
Yeah, of course.
I started off just doing Facebook Lives and then switching to Zoom. And then I've got a tiny room upstairs in my house. So, the lenses that would kind of make it look bigger, and the lighting and the microphones and all that kind of stuff.
So it's a new skill set that you're having to learn to be able to adapt to that. And I think you sort of I suppose everyone, Beth Heath, obviously, in Shropshire festivals, of all their festivals lined up, and obviously everything boom out the window.
Yeah, of course.
And them adapting to the whole drive-in scenario, which again brought that alive in a different way. And even which I think is brilliant because it's car related, but the new Top Gear and how they're doing that. Instead of inside a big warehouse with the live studio audience of everyone standing around listening to them, they're outdoors and people turn up in their cars. And because it's a car-related show,
it works,
people are coming in classic cars and they've got all the cars around in like a semicircle with people standing next to their own car and parked, the relevant distance
That's
away.
good.
And that's brilliant as well.
Yeah,
you should watch it because it's really clever the way they've done it.
Yeah.
Making that work.
And I think people get creative, don't they?
Yes.
And when you're in your comfort zone with how things work, you know how things run.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily push those boundaries of creativity, do you? Mm-hmm. And I think in some weird, strange way, it's allowed people to really tap into their creativity and find ways of working. It's kind of juxtaposed against kind of the loss of like the events industry and the music industry and all of that, but people are finding a way through, and it's just making it work as best you can.
I saw the wrestling. I'm not a big fan of wrestling. Don't really watch it, but I saw like they'd done this around the wrestling ring. They had like TV screens all the way around the arena, and there's all these people watching Zoom, and it's just people's faces on TV screens. That's the audience.
Yeah.
Because wrestling fans are always like the people waving the banners.
Yeah.
And stuff. It just fits so well. It's just a weird thing. Yeah. This is evolution, isn't it?
Shall I?
Yeah. Sorry, I've been walking around taking pictures. Julie's. I'm actually like editing things on Instagram on the fly because we're doing this open studio today, and we're trying to keep things sort of moving and letting people know what's going on, because I want this thing to be a big thing. I want next month. I want it to be bigger. And the month after, I want it to be bigger, because that's what we want to do. We want to invite people to come and talk on the Biscuit. It's
good, and it's a really, it's helps you get to know that community as well that's in Shrewsbury.
Because obviously we get people that are specialists in their field, like you with the yoga and the businesses with the Enchanted Bell Tent Company and Madame Lama's Flowers. All these people that are specialists in their trade, but I'd like to speak to average Joe as well. Like people just to walk in and be like, I never really thought of doing this before, but I'm going to give it a go. I'd love to do that. That's what I want to offer with these open studios. Obviously, COVID safe, so 1 in, 1 out. We're socially distanced here. There's hand sanitizers. It's fine.
Yeah, you've got a great setup.
Yeah,
for now. Really well.
For now, we're looking to get our own little space in the universe, aren't we? At the moment,
it'll come.
It'll come.
Yeah.
But I'm so thankful to the parade for helping us thus far with what's going on, because just to have this space to have yourself just walk in, I don't even have a house at the moment, so I can't even do it at home. So this is just really cool. So so how are things with the family and stuff? Obviously, your business has been hit hard. Yeah. How has it affected you?
We're okay because my husband's business hasn't been hit hard.
Okay.
And so we're okay.
Yeah.
But I've probably, for me, it's more a sense of pride and ego that I'm kind of nursing, because I was a secondary school teacher, left my job, knowing it's taken longer, knowing that my business has had lots of potential, and I had lots of things that I needed to do and explore and kind of create. Yeah. In a very strange way, I guess the bell tents and the yoga start at the same time. And I'm sorry, I'm going off on about 5 different tangents here. But this, coming up to the end of this month, has been my 5 years here in Shrewsbury. So my husband's from Shrewsbury originally. We moved here 5 years ago, and that's when both businesses started. And I guess my real passion has always been yoga and dance. And in a very strange way, having the rug pulled out from the bell tents and the slumber parties has allowed me to focus more on it. And excuse me, I've got a croaky throat. As I say, the business name is Breathe, Dance and Yoga. And it feels like, again, I'm getting all these 3 strands, the breath work through the Wim Hof. Maybe it should be breathe, dance, cold, ice. all of these things. The dance is starting to come back through, and obviously the yoga. And that's kind of become this journey over the last 5 years that's feeling like it's all the different pieces are coming together in a very strange way under pressure now. So whilst my income goals haven't been achieved, and
this year,
this year, next year's still going to be good, and 2020's not over yet.
No, that's true. Yeah,
2021 is going to be like, providing this all goes away. I think 2021 will be the biggest year in history. I really do. We said this before, didn't we? We had Shropshire event nannies come in.
That's right, yes.
And I was like, 2021, you're going to be busy.
Yes.
You're going to be busy. We're going to be busy because we're going to be at events. We're going to do. If everything goes away, everybody's going to want to have like the most elaborate wedding.
Yeah,
or Comic-Con's going to be the biggest one they've ever had.
Yeah.
Or bring people back, and that's what it's going to be. I think. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So just keep holding in there. You know.
Yeah.
We need people like you, Kat. we do.
Well, I'm online. I'm delivering everything online, so it can all still happen. All still go ahead.
Is there anybody that's inspired you in Shropshire, or to keep going, and to do?
I've got a really nice circle of women, and the weeks that I am struggling, it's usually I've not seen them for a while. And actually take that away, and I feel there's a real loss of something. And they're not all the same group, but I feel like again, moving here 5 years ago, I've kind of got a really lovely set of new friends. I've still got my old friends. But I think you just attract people into your life that are doing either similar things, or there's something where you support each other. And that's become really important, actually. Really, really important.
I mean, I heard someone say Shrewsbury's no utopia, but we have something that other towns don't. Right, I'm not from Shrewsbury either. I've been here for 3-4 years. And there is definitely something here that I've never had when I lived in Wrexham, or when I lived in Telford, or when I've been to places around the UK. There's a certain pride here that you don't get anywhere else.
It's a unique town for sure.
It felt very welcoming as well. Very, very welcome.
And I think it's like For the Love of Shrewsbury, for example. That's what inspired this whole show, was For the Love of Shrewsbury, just because of the sheer pride and the love people have, the photography. They'll be like, here's a picture of a bridge, and like in most places you're kind of like, okay, whatever. Nice bridge, mate. But in Shrewsbury, it is a beautiful bridge.
And
there is a certain amount of pride, and there's people liking it like all day, like the love. That's what it's all about. For the love. So cheesy. So cheesy. So what's getting you through everything then? Is when you're not doing yoga, when you're not dancing, and when you're not, worrying about the enchanted, what is it that you like to do? Is there a TV show that you like? Is there a hobby that you like to do?
I read.
Yeah?
I read, I've gone through so many books. And again, they're all kind of, they're either being processed at the moment, or they're being utilised, because it's all been about meditation, Wim Hof method, yoga, and then that kind of filters into my practice. So everything I'm doing, I'm either using personally, or it's then getting kind of regenerated and comes out in my work. So that's and I think we talked about this last time. Little habit stacking and a routine, so that sticking with that when there is no routine has kind of kept me on a kind of more even keel. So I get up at the same time, I have a drink of tea, I read some pages of my book before anything else happens.
Well, I would love to get you on again, sort of later on in the year, next year maybe, when things have opened up. I'd love to talk about how things have opened up again.
Which they will.
This is your third time on the show now.
I know.
You're like an honorary guest.
I love it.
Host, there you go.
Just chatting.
I love that. Keep coming on, because I love chatting to you, because you've inspired me twice. One, the meditation thing was just, it's you and a number of other people that was kind of like meditation. It happened, and I did it, and it was just an amazing experience. There was that, and then there's obviously the online applications to what you did. So you do inspire me, and I love speaking to you.
Thank you. Well, I love coming in to chat to you, so
fantastic.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Have you got anything to add before we get out of here?
No, not today. So.
No. I'd love to give you an opportunity for you to tell people how they can support you and where.
Join me online. Come to, I have a web page, a Facebook page, an Instagram page. So it's Breathe, Dance and Yoga.
Yes.
And if you're not into yoga, join me for a dance class. If you're not into dance, join me for a yoga class. And my main aim is to empower and uplift women and make them feel good. Men are, of course, always welcome, but it feels like that is kind
Blushed
of,
then. I blushed.
you know, my thing.
Men have got their own spaces to go and do stuff, haven't they? Do you know what I mean? So
Got their sheds.
You got their sheds. Well, you go to a lot of people go to the gym with the guys, don't they? You know, it's nice to have that for women too. I really do appreciate that. So, thank you so much for joining us. I would love to give out a list. Have you got anything to add? No.
No, I'm going to have a look at some dancing. Well, I'm making notes for myself as usual. Get sort out some dancing.
Nice. Guys, make sure you check out our website too, which is www.theshrewsburybiscuitpodcast.co.uk. All of our audio is available on there, and that's made by our friends at Web Orchard. They're great guys. If you need a website, go to Web Orchard. They're fantastic. This has been recorded at the Parade Shops behind St. Mary's, an amazing place that's constantly changing, full of character, and so many amazing businesses to come and look at. Kat, thank you so much again.
Oh, thanks for having me again.
Thank you.
We'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.